This is her on the Defund the Police movement. Where do you think she stands on this? Now, we know that crime is rampant in America, and I'm just going to keep going back from now into the election. I think we just go back to the archives and pull all her horrible sound bites that expose her as a radical. Do not believe she is anything but a radical.
Trying to look, part of this movement, and it's not just a moment, it's a movement, standing on the shoulders of the movements before. Part of this has to be about changing the system, rehauling the system, upending the system. And so that piece of it, you're right. Under this Attorney General, I have no hope for it being implemented. But God willing, he will be out of that office shortly. And then we need to have a requirement that that office do the right thing going forward.
So then if you're for overhauling, where do you stand on defund the police?
Look, right. So here's the thing. Defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety.
There's no need to reimagine how you create safety. It's a real simple game, okay? There's two aspects to it. There's the proactive aspect to it, and there's the reactive aspect to it. What would you like to start with? You want to start with the reactive aspect because that's how they do it today, but they're not even reacting to the crime. The reactive aspect is someone commits a crime, you go out and investigate it, you find them, you catch them, you convict them, and you put them in prison, and you keep them there. That's the reactive aspect of how you prevent crime. Most of the crime in America is committed by repeat offenders. So if you take offenders off the street, they're not going to be able to repeat because they're in prison. It's a very simple game. Now, there's also the proactive aspect of crime, which means you put cops on the street and you flood neighborhoods with cops. You have cops on the beat. You have them walking and talking, not stop and frisk, stop and talk, engage in conversation with people that look like troublemakers. Guess what? You start doing that. Start enforcing laws. Start enforcing jaywalking. Start enforcing disorderly conduct, drunk on the street, peeing on the street. Start enforcing all these little things. The broken windows philosophy. This was what Rudy Giuliani and Bernard Kerik really made famous, and it worked in New York. You take care of the little things, the big things take care of themselves. I told you my coach, Richard Clinchy, basketball coach, John Jay High School, 1987. This was one of his biggest lines. Take care of the little things, the big thing take care of themselves. Same thing goes for crime. You've got to be prosecuting crime. You've got to be proactive. You've got to be patrolling. We don't patrol streets anymore. We react to crimes. Cops are now call takers. They're not proactive crime fighters. They're criminal rounder-uppers, if they even can. Most cities now run by liberals handcuff the cops, and they're not doing it. I'll play more of this for you.
And when you have many cities that have 1/3 of their entire city budget focused on policing, we know that is not the smart way and the best way or the right way to achieve safety. For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong.
How is that wrong? How do you explain it? So Los Angeles tried this. We're going to put social workers on the street. You know what happened? Crime exploded. Los Angeles is now rethinking that. You want to talk about reimagining your stupid idea? They're saying, you know what? It didn't work so much.
Because, by the way, if you want to look at upper middle class suburban neighborhoods, they don't have that patrol car. They don't have those police walking those streets. But what they do have, they have well-funded schools.
No. Do you know what those neighborhoods have? They have family units. They have moms and dads that will not tolerate their kid out on the street robbing, cheating, looting, stealing, whatever it may be. And I don't mean even in today's day and age, you don't need, and this is my conservative friends are going to get mad at me for saying this, but you don't need a mother and father in the same household. I would offer up that is number one best, providing it's a healthy household. Best to have mother, father, family unit, traditional family unit. But if you have divorced parents and the father is involved, the mother is involved, as in my case. My son spends half the week with me, spends half the week with his mom. We're involved. I pick him up one day, she picks him up. We mutually co-parent. He has someone looking out after him. In the suburbs, by and large, they have better schools, as she says, not because they're throwing money at the schools, but because parents are making their kids study. Parents will not tolerate their kids acting up in school. You don't need to give the kid detention because if the teacher calls the parents and says your kid was acting up, you're going to get punished at home. It's a different philosophy on the importance of education. This is a huge problem in America, and they think simply money and teachers solves the problem. It doesn't.
What they do have is home ownership, high home ownership rates. What they do have are thriving small businesses. What they do have is access to public health and mental health services. So this whole movement is about rightly saying, we need to take a look at these budgets and figure out whether it reflects the right priority.
Why do you think there's home ownership in upper middle class suburbs? So this goes for black and white, by the way. You go to Atlanta, there's rich, beautiful suburbs that are majority black. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It has to do with how you grow up in many respects. And I think you do have to be exceptional in order to beat the system. If you grow up in the hood with a broken family, no one looking out after you, you beating the system is exceptional. The opportunity is there for you in America. This is a beautiful part about this country. The opportunity for you to be exceptional, for you to beat the system is there. It takes a very special kid to beat that. I want to help all those kids in the hood be able to take advantage of those opportunities. But the answer is not, as what she's saying, is bringing everybody down to the lowest common denominator and have an equal outcome for everybody. Don't have anybody with wild success. Just have everybody be mediocre. That's why we call her Commie Kamala.